What's going on, guys? This is Gainz Gaming. Today we are going to be going over how to AOE Barb farm with a Richard YSG pair. So right now I'm a Richard YSG. I have it with full of T4 infantry right now. So the first thing you want to do is you want to search for a cluster of barbarians. So this is a perfect example of what you want to look for. A bunch of barbarians in one little area. What you're going to do is you're going to start on one corner here. I'm going to work my way around in a circle. I'm going to try to connect all these barbs in 1 AP. So I'm hoping that I can get all of this in 40 AP. And so one of the biggest keys is you don't want to start moving right away. You want to start to kill this first barbarian before you start to move, because you don't want to aggravate this barbarian just yet. And then once the second skill cycle comes on, we're going to start moving a little bit. As you can see, that barbarian moves a tiny bit as well. And you can see my AOE starts to hit those next barbs. So now those are going to come over, I'm going to start attacking my march, and then once I kill this barbarian right here, then I'm going to start to move over this way toward the next barbarian. So I'm going to get one more skill cycle here before I start moving to aggravate that next barb. So once this one comes on, we'll wait until the rage regenerates here real quick. We'll wait for that first skill. And then we're going to let the YSG skill wait until we are close enough to this next barbarian. We're going to hit the home, and then all of a sudden, boom, we aggravate this next barbarian. We did get kind of unlucky with where these barbs started to walk, and so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get all of them in this one, but we're going to try our best. And we can also show you what happens when you walk too far, if that is what happens. So I'm going to try to get down to this level 29 barbarian here. And so I'm just going to slowly walk it over and hope that it follows me the whole way here. I'm going to try to stay in combat with it as long as I can. But I'm slowly walking it down this way. I'm going to have to park it there for a second, let it come. See if it hits. There we go. Alright, now we're just going to get a little bit further. So we're going to continue to try to draw this barbarian down a little bit further. Got one more chance here. Alright, here we go. You can see we did aggravate this barbarian, so we are able to get it. So we're going to walk it up a little bit further this way towards this next barbarian. And we are going to be a little bit too close to this level 28, so it's going to hit it right away. Hopefully that's okay and it doesn't die right away. But we're going to kill this level 29 here. And then we're going to make our way up to the level 29 up this way. So once this barbarian here dies, we're going to start walking up toward these little cluster of trees. As you can see, this is why you want to use Richard, especially in KVK. So I am in KVK 3 right now, Light versus Darkness. And so you're going to want to use Richard just because the barbarian's a little bit stronger. These are above level 25. If you're in the home kingdom, you can use Lohar, and that's perfectly fine. Honestly, I'd actually prefer that you use Lohar because you're going to get little bit more resources doing that as well. And it looks like we're not going to be able to connect this just because this barb is going to die too soon, but we can take a look at that report and show you what that looks like. And so not very great, we got 6, but that's still a 6 for 1 value. We are also in a Lohar's trial event, and so we're getting some bone necklace and plus little bonus. I am in the Light and Darkness KVK where we are in the past glory event. And so we are also doing the Crusaders resource chest, and so I'm working on this, trying to get some more resources. And so in here, you can get resources, XP, and individual credits. I want the resources. I also did some Barbarian forts as well, just to try to get some speed ups and gems. But since the value for Barbarians is so high with the Lohar's trial event, that's what I'm focusing on for this past glory event. So as you can see, we still have tons of Barbarians over here, so we are going to try to connect all of these. So first we're going to hit this level 29, we're going to start walking it north a little bit. I'm going to park it right here for a second. Hopefully we're not too close to that level 28 just yet, because I want to do a little bit more damage to this barbarian first. Alright, perfect. So we're right on the outside of that AoE. And so like I was saying, this is why you want to use Richard, because he's staying at full health the entire time, so you don't have to worry about your march dying. It's always going to do the same amount of damage, so you can be consistent with that as well. So we're going to kill this barbarian here. And then we're going to move a little bit further north up to these level 29s, not close enough to AoE them, but just close enough to be a little bit more comfortable with where our march is. Stop right here. Alright, just outside the AoE there. And then once this next seal comes, we're going to start moving a little bit further just so we can aggravate hopefully just one of these level 29s. We're going to try to go for this bottom one here. Go a little bit closer. This should be good. Alright, so we get that bottom level 29. That's going to aggravate it. And then hopefully we can still stay out of this level 29 right here, just so that we can continue to connect up to this level 26 and then down to this little cluster over here. So now after this skill cycle, I'm going to start moving north a little bit. And you want to make sure you try to aggravate them in a way where when you're walking with them, you're not walking away from them, but you're walking toward them. And so that's why I tried to move over to the right a little bit rather than moving all the way over here, because otherwise you're walking directly away from the Barbarian, and that makes it a little bit easier for them to just turn away and walk the opposite direction. Because like I said, you want to stay in contact with them, stay in battle with them as long as possible. And that'll also help dwindle down their troops as well, so it makes it a little bit easier to kill them with the AoE. And with Richard, his first skill does slow them down, and so that is also a factor. And so if you slow them down and then start running away from them, then they're not going to be able to catch up just like that. So he turns around, I lose the skill cycle, I lose the Barbarian. So we can take a look at this, I only got 3. It looks like I got 4, but we did not finish that Barbarian because we were trying to connect it with these ones down here. And so it does happen. Try to do your best to not let it happen. I was hoping that it would happen in this video so I can show you what that looks like. But that's the thing you want to avoid, is getting too far away from their home base, which is basically just where they kind of migrate around in circles. And so that does happens to the best of us, and so we try to minimize it as much as we can just so we can maximize our AP. And so here we got a 2-for-1 there. Typically I don't like when that happens because they are both about the same level here. And so yeah, they're both level 27. And so they're going to die about the same time, so that's why I don't really like it. If it was, say, level 30 and a level 27, that makes it a little bit better. But walking around with 2 of them connected to you is a bit harder than just 1, because you have to worry about both of them falling off. But on the bright side, your rage does regenerate much quicker, and so you're able to kind of move around and produce much more rage as you go. So I did also just aggravate these 2 Barbarians, and instead of going south here, this is level 29, we're going to go a little bit further to the west, just because there's 4 over here, whereas we only have 1 this way. So once this one dies here, we're going to start moving a little bit further west. Alright, so now these ones are about 50% health, so I'm going to start moving just because my rage is going way too fast to kind of stay in one position with 2 of them connected to me. So we're going to park right here, hopefully only get one of these barbs, try to get to the bottom one. Alright, we're going to aggravate both of them, which this is what I was talking about. This is what I don't like, is when we have a level 29 and a level 26. Ideally I would like this, but only if the level 29 was on top here, because I'm trying to get up to these ones over this way. And so that's one downside, so I'm going to have to start moving right away, just because that level 26 is going to die fairly quick, especially when I'm using my skill cycles with YSG. So we're going to start moving up to this level 27. We're going to hope that we don't lose the level 29 here either. Ideally we want to kill that bottom one before we start moving, but since it's a higher level than the top one, that's not going to happen because that top one's going to die first. So we got one more chance here to get this level 27. Hopefully we can kill the level 26 here as well. There we go. Get to level 27. We'll wait for this level 29 to die right here, and then we're going to move our way up to level 28. There we go. Alright, so now we're just going to let our normal attacks do most of the damage here, get to this level 28, start using our skill cycles. We're going to stop right there, just right outside of level 28. Hopefully we can get up to this level 27. And this is one situation you want to try to avoid, is where you are on the opposite side of where you want to go. or on the correct side of where you want to go, because then you're walking away from them rather than walking toward them. And so in this next situation, we'll be walking toward the Barbarian, like right through the Barbarian here. And so as you can see, he's going to be walking north with you rather than running towards you. And so that makes it a little bit easier for them to stay with you. And with Richard, he's a slower march, so they're going to have an easier time catching up with you. When I use Lohar in the home kingdom, it makes it a little bit harder because he's just so much faster. But with Richard, he is a slower march, plus using infantry helps as well. Using cavalry during this makes it go a little bit too quick, and that's another reason why using a Richard march is a little bit better, especially for KVKs. I don't think we're going to be able to get up to this level 27 without this guy running away. Yep, he started running away anyway. And so we'll check out that report here. So we got 3, 6, we got 9 for one trade right there. And so this is one thing that you guys should always practice. Richard YSG is going to be the best march you can use in KVK. And then in the home kingdom, Lohar YSG is going to be the best one you can use. The reason why is because if we take a look at Lohar here, if we go to talents, we are able to get some extra resources, the trophy hunter. So as you can see here, after using action point to defeat barbarians, you gain extra 15 level 1 resource packs. And so I'm sure you've seen a lot of people have tons of these level 1 resource packs. So if I open these up here for you, you can see you get tons of resources. It's not a whole lot of gold, but you get tons of resources that you can get. I have 200,000 of these. I opened them all. I opened about 300, 400,000 last KVK for resources, just because I try not to dip into my reserves here as much, but I try to open these first just because I get them every single between KVKs, during KVK, and then likewise with the level 2 resource packs, these come from defeating barbarian forts, and so these ones have a lot more resources, about 10 times more than the level 1 resource packs, and that's why defeating barbarian forts are really good as well. But this is a great time to work on barb chaining in your kingdom, is when you get to the past glory event in your KVK. This happens every single KVK, not just Light and Darkness, but every single time you're rebuilding the Ruined Crusader Fortress, which is in your Lost Kingdom right here. This is what it's going to look like. I do have a video of this being taken in my previous KVK, so I will put a card up in the top so you can watch that. But this is what you are working on, is the rebuilding stage. And so the first one is donating resources. And so one thing you can do is donate resources on your farms. I have tons of farms here in this kingdom. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 farms that I donated on. And so that makes it go a lot faster, especially if you donate gems on your farms, which I definitely do, just because you get tons of AP on doing that. And so it makes it very much worth your gems on the farms, because what else are you going to use those gems for? Not very much. So use those gems on the farms, work on chaining barbarians in this event. If it lines up with the Lohar like mine did, that's even better. That makes it kind of tough to do the barbarian forts, just because the value for the barbs are so much better. Bone necklace, especially for free to play, are really good for barbarians, just because I opened up 120 here, got some gems, got tons of resources, 5-minute speed ups, tons of value there just for AOE and barbs. And so as you can see, I have about 6,000 gems here saved up just from the beginning of pre-KVK, which was from Marauders. And then all these are just from events that we've done. Some from Ark of Osiris, we just won yesterday. We are in our KVK right now, KVK 3. We are in Light versus Darkness in the Light camp. And so 2388, 2384, and 2372 are our allies this KVK. We did fight against 2372 last KVK, so I'm excited to play with them this time. And so if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe. If you have any content you want to see in the future, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.